Hey friends, welcome to A Song Between. Today we're talking about where do you look? My name is Gray Ewing, pastor of New Valley Downtown in Phoenix, and we're excited to have you today for another episode where we look at the Psalms together. In the absence of being able to gather for public worship on Sundays, we have decided instead as a church to gather around the same scriptures every day so that we can be on the same page. We can cling to the same truths. We can sing the same songs. And the passage of scripture that we've chosen is the Songs of Ascents. Psalm 120 through 134 describe the people of God when they couldn't be in gathered worship, and yet they were singing the same hymn book together from a distance. So we've been looking at Psalms 120 through 122. Today we are on Psalm 123. Just like in previous times, I'm going to encourage you to grab a Bible if you have one. It will also be on the screen for you. But also take a moment to quiet your heart. Be silent and still before the Lord. Know that He is God and prepare to hear His word. Psalm 123, a Song of Ascents. To you I lift up my eyes, O you who are enthroned in the heavens. Behold, as the eyes of servants look to the hand of their master, as the eyes of a maidservant to the hand of her mistress, so our eyes look to the Lord our God, till He has mercy upon us. Have mercy upon us, O Lord, have mercy upon us, for we've had more than enough of contempt. Our soul has had more than enough of the scorn of those who are at ease, of the contempt of the proud. Psalm 123 continues one of the themes that we've already seen before in Psalm 121, which is, where do our eyes go in times of distress? Another way that we might say it as 21st century Americans is, what do you look to? Where do you go when you are in need of help? And the conclusion, of course, from this psalm is found in verse 1. To you, that is to the Lord, I lift up my eyes. You are the one that ultimately I look to. That is the walk of faith. Where our eyes go is so important. We have actually a new puppy at home. He's about 19 weeks old now. And there's been kind of a routine over the last 10 weeks or so that we have had him, where in the evenings he'll cuddle up with me on the couch. And he knows that this is the time that we do this. We cuddle on the couch before I put him to bed. And a few minutes before we start our cuddle time, he will come and look at me. He will look at me and look at me. And sometimes he's up on the couch with me already and he'll just stare at me, because he knows this is his time to cuddle with me on the couch, and so he just looks at me intently. Even if it's half an hour before, he will look at me for that long, waiting for this time where we can have this affection. And in the same sense, the psalmist is saying, you are the one that I want to gaze at in the time of distress. But what he also shows us in the psalm is other places where our eyes can go. They can go in other places. And so taking the end of the psalm, we'll go to the beginning. First, our eyes can move side to side. Our eyes can move to look at others in times of distress. And ultimately, he says, this is empty. This is what he says in verse 4. Our soul has had more than enough of the scorn of those who are at ease, of the contempt of the proud. What he's saying is, when we look side to side and we see other people and what they have, that their life is at ease, that they have money, that they have a job, that they have security that I don't have right now. When we look side to side, eventually our soul says, okay, enough of that. Enough of looking side to side. That's not where hope is found. In fact, it leads to this sense of emptiness. We can look side to side. The passage also implies that we can look down upon God. This is the posture that it discourages, because it says actually we are servants and maidservants of the Lord. In verse 2, behold, as the eyes of servants look to the hand of their master, as the eyes of maidservant to the hand of her mistress. That's the way that we're supposed to look to God. A maidservant, a servant does not look down upon the master. It looks up to the master, waiting. The posture is one of waiting and of servitude. And that's the other thing we need to notice. Do our eyes not just go from side to side, but do we begin during times of distress to look down upon God? Why isn't he doing what I think he should do? Why isn't he answering me in the same way that I believe he should answer me? Ultimately, of course, what the psalmist says is our eyes don't need to go side to side, and they certainly don't need to look down upon God. But rather, as servants and maidservants, we lift up our eyes. To you, I lift up my eyes. It's towards the Lord. It's a life found under God. That's what we're being encouraged to see. In this season, especially when crisis hits, now's the time to analyze, where do our eyes go? What are we looking to you? And I hope and pray that by faith, the answer is that more and more what we're doing is lifting up our eyes and seeing the Lord who made the heavens and the earth